Mm.
SRMites. Welcome back to Say What with SRM AP. I'm your host, Ramishri Vempati. Today's episode is set to be incredibly inspiring as we have Aditya Jain, a standout alumnus from the class of 2021, with us today. Aditya's journey perfectly illustrates how seizing opportunities and crafting a compelling personal brand can shape a remarkable career. From pursuing BTech at SRMAP and hosting at TEDx is something that we all want to know about. So let's welcome Aditya. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me here. Uh, it's actually a pleasure to be sitting here with you in my old university and having this podcast with you. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's great to hear that. Let's start with your time at SRMAP. Can you tell us about your journey at SRM?
Definitely. Well, that's a very good question. I would say I'll not words are not enough to express the journey to sort of really um, uh, I would say the journey was phenomenal in that way since we were the first batch. So we've seen SRM grow, we have seen ourselves grow, and we've been a part of this growth journey of SRM as well. And I would say, especially in the starting when we had 240 students, we were a batch of 240 students, and so we have very good friendships with each other. Also, the support from the faculty since we knew all since we had a very good collaboration with faculty as well that time. I think we had a lot of fun. It was unlike any other BTech journey in India, if I could say it that way. Um, a very good part was the curriculum of SRM that time. SRM sort of prepared us for for the industry in the future. Also, the international exposure, the standards that SRM maintained, and the infrastructure. I think it was very difficult to get this kind of blend of all the things, and even in India. So I think the journey, all in all, has been amazing.
That's really nice to hear from you, sir. It's just that listening all of this inputs from you, being one of the first batches of SRMAP, and me being from the current batch, it's it's really inspiring to hear that, to see how also to compare my experiences with yours, seeing how SRM has grown on its own as well.
Yeah, yeah. I would say now that I come here after, I don't know, it's been 2017, I think 8 years. When we started, we had like 4 buildings in total. Now I see it's like a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure with like so many buildings, and it's really, I would say it's what we expected. It's better than that. It's actually like a world class university here in the center of Amravati, which is pretty cool, I would say.
I do agree with that, sir. That's really motivating. Your internship in Greece must have been quite an adventure. Can you share some insights from your experience and how it influenced your career trajectory?
Definitely. I would say I was very scared. I was 18 when I got this internship in Greece. Also, the fact that I wanted to travel, I wanted to go to Europe for I don't know what reason. Um, and I did not know how it happened. I just wanted to go out for some time, to explore a different culture, and that's what I love. That's where one of my strengths has been as well, to sort of get to know other cultures. So I applied for internships, got this in Greece, went there. What I'd mention here is the university was super supportive. They helped me a lot with this, a little bit in terms of finance, a little bit in terms of sort of preparing me to spend my time abroad. Um, I would say it was, what happens when you push yourself out of your comfort zone. You are in blink of a moment from a very comfortable place. You are into unknown, and I think that sort of happened to me in Greece without having an international exposure. I just landed there without knowing what's going to happen next. Um, and I think this part it helped me a lot to in the future as well to really step into that unknown area and to do that magic, to bring on my creativity, and that's where also SRM also prepared us because we're the first batch, so we've sort of seen things building around. And I would say Greece sort of motivated me to really explore more into Europe, to really, um, what do we say? uh, to really open my horizons and not stay in the same zone. And I think that has helped me. That has sort of influenced me to go from Greece to Berlin to Madrid, different places. Love it.
Mm. Your experiences at Greece sounds incredible. If I'm not wrong, after coming back from Greece, you started ASEC
Isaac, yeah.
at SRMAP.
hmm
What exactly is that, and what does that body do?
So Isaac is the world's largest youth leadership organization,
Mm-mm.
and what we do, or what back then Isaac, when I was a part, we did was to promote global youth leadership through cross-cultural exchanges. Um, I found it very interesting that across the world, ISEC is the world's largest youth-run organization. I would say so across the world, thousands of youth out there. Um, One of the main aims of ISEC was for everyone to be a leader and to be a global citizen.
Mm-mm.
And cross-cultural international exchanges, international internships, it helped instill that sense of globalization into students. And that's when I thought that we have got a lot of potential here at SRM University, AP, and I think it would be a good place to really start our own ISAC community here. That time we had ISAC in these major cities. We had ISAC in Hyderabad, ISAC in Vizag. However, in Amravati we didn't have any. So I think that's when I came back from Greece. I felt that it's like a good space here. Um, Built up a team, took support from SRM, and started ISAC in Amravati in SRM. And slowly, I think the next 2 years we grew. Started from ISAC in Amravati, then we grew from, I remember, 5 people to 35 people in the next 2 years, from different universities, collaborating with different universities. So it was a very, um, it did develop a lot of leadership skills in me, because it really helped me. It taught me how to start a business at a smaller scale. It taught me how to um, talk to people, how to story tell, how to navigate complexities. So I think that has been a very rewarding experience for me, and I won't say complete, but partially ISEC was also, it also had a great part to play in my journey abroad in the future.
Basic sounds like a really good initiative.
hmm
Transitioning from tech background to management is a big leap. What inspired you to pursue an MBA, and how did your time at ESMT Business School in Berlin shape your career goals?
Um, that's an interesting question. Um, let's put it this way: it partially comes from the family. My dad's been a consultant, business consultant, since many years. And the tech thingy comes from, I would say, from my mom. She's a mathematics professor. So I love numbers, um, and I've been good with numbers. However, I just never felt that belongingness to sit down and code.
Mm-mm.
Um, I love technology. I love how it works, and I love. I'm a very tech savvy guy as well. Um, I love exploring ins and outs of new and upcoming technologies to see, let's say, AI, deep tech, yada yada yada. However, I also knew that I could do better in business, and that all my skills and capabilities that I developed during SRM as well, they were more inclined towards running a business. And in the end, I think it all comes down to what I personally wanted on longer term. And my longer term goal was to have my own venture and to really um, impact a lot of people from that business
Mm-hmm.
venture. And that long term goal helped me transition from tech to uh, business. And I would say it has been a very um, resourceful state that I was in, because from a tech, coming from a tech background in today's world, it's very helpful.
Mm-mm.
I knew a couple of coding languages, so it really prove, even in Germany, that hey, I'm equipped with skills. You just give me additional skills to start business. Now coming to how my time at ESMT was. Um, so ESMT is Germany's number one business school,
Mm-mm.
and it's ranked seventh in Europe. Um, I knew this fact that business is more than skills. It's about network. It's about relationships, and that's why I wanted to be at a place where I could get a lot of exposure to the industry, and I could get a lot of exposure to people from different countries. I was very happy when I heard that ESMT, we had one how many 120 students from 48 countries. I was a batch, so I gave me very good exposure, and all the skills that I took from SRM AP, including networking skills, I could really apply them abroad in Germany, in Berlin, and coming from a tech background, I think it was a little easier for me to survive and to find to enter the industry. Um, all in all, I would say that it was not easy because you have this traditional mindset that if you're in tech, then you are supposed to do a tech job, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in India, I think um, computer science plays a huge role, which is very valid as well. However, as I said, stepping into the unknown. So I want to do that. Germany was a good place. Berlin was a good place for me with a lot of startups, and I took the leap of faith.
Berlin must have been quite an experience for you, sir.
It was super international, super. It's like this. Berlin, they say that Berlin is a city where everything and nothing happens at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want exposure, you'll get that. If you don't want anything, you won't get that as well. So it was a
Mm-hmm.
good place.
Working in brand consultancy there, what were some key takeaways from collaborating with C-level executives and developing market strategies?
That's a good question. So, I think I'd quickly touch upon where I started my career there in Berlin. I was not always into brand consultancy. I started in growth strategy and expansion, and in a big e-commerce company, and and um, that's where I met these amazing people from all these established schools around the world. All these big consulting firms, and that's where I sort of got that consulting acumen. Um, However, what really worked, like how I landed up here, was I strongly believe that at every level of your career or in your life, you need a coach. And that's when I
Mm-hmm.
found one of my coaches, and she sort of showed me a path towards this because she herself was doing that. And then I realized that people, people have a lot of potential. Each
Mm-hmm.
person is unique. They have their own skills, capabilities. However, they struggle to tell their stories. They struggle to position themselves in a way that they they win, and no matter you whatever you're good at, maybe you're the best coder in the world, for example, but if you won't show it to others, if you won't tell others what how did you end up here, others won't see it and you won't get those opportunities. I think this is what I realized and this is what I saw. And also in my experience as well, when I landed in Berlin, I started making a lot of network. I started working on my personal branding early on. I started uh, I started positioning myself as some kind of expert. I started really researching, how to put the story out. Read several books on storytelling, um, and 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 that is when I started connecting with the C-level executives. I think in the 2 years of my journey of my studies in masters, I've met the CEOs and execs of big companies including airline, FMCG, insurance, and even now I have like monthly or quarterly calls with them just to see how they're doing. I think that kind of relationship, it really helped me in my career, and that's what I started offering to others as well.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, when I also realized that, of course, let's say some student or someone who's fresh in the industry, or a coach who wants to establish their own business, they need this. On the other hand, also all these early stage startups, they struggle with brand strategy. They don't think about branding so often. However, if you want to be next Apple or next Coke, you need to, or next Nike, you need to tell your story accordingly. And that's when I ventured in this space.
Hmm. That's really incredibly valuable, sir. The information that you've just given us. Personal branding seems to have been a major factor in your career success, and if anything, everybody else's as well. What suggestions from your experience you want to share to the current students and young professionals?
So, I mean, of course, there's a lot of things I could say, but let me just say three major points, three major things, three major takeaways that people can really take from this with when it comes to personal branding. Number one is do not be afraid to take that first step. Personal branding usually involves reaching out to a lot of people. Usually involves experimenting. It also involves telling your story in a unique way. It also involves, because if you want to put yourself out, you need to be consistent in putting yourself out. And right now, the channels of that are mostly social media. You've got LinkedIn, which is a huge platform for students and professionals. Instagram, GitHub, yada yada yada. Right? What I've seen is that people are so afraid of what other people would think after they, let's say, create the first post. They're not able to move forward. Also, people used to think that LinkedIn and everything, they're just like your online resume. However, the concept of LinkedIn was that um, it was, I think, the theory of six or something like that. It was more like every person you know is connected to other six people, so you can sort of be connected to those six people. Right? Yeah, so start creating that network there. So yeah, so that is number one. Do not be afraid to take the first step. If you know you want to, if you are an expert at something, start sharing knowledge. Start put sharing a story. People want to listen to your struggles. You need to inspire people. You need to tell them. That is number one. Number two is, in today's changing world, when let's say we are in the economic downturn as of now, and the companies have a lot of applications. How do you stand out then? And I think that is where the whole recruiting industry is changing. Conventionally, you see a job posting online and you apply, and then the whole process happens. But now, a lot of job postings, they don't even put it out. So you need to know the right people to get you in those places. And I think that's where also personal branding helps a lot, because your position as an expert in the industry, people see you, they know your story. So initially, the aim is to be visible, and then to really consume their memories of why you exist, right? And so that is number two. Connect, network to a lot of people, talk to them, ask for coffee chats. Do not just ask anything after a coffee chat, but give a lot of value. Always ask people, how can you help? How can you contribute? What value can you provide? This is something which I mean, personal branding is a big topic, but these small things is something which people make a lot of mistakes. When they ask for a coffee chat, they're just like, hey, I need a referral, yada yada. They start asking, now what's in it for me, right? What's in it for the other person? You start creating value for them. You start collaborating with them.
Working on your personal branding is going to really give you a huge boost in your career and putting you out there for a lot of other clients
Yeah,
and recruiters to see you. And it's a very powerful tool to be able to brand yourself, and it's very important for a lot of people, especially students, to already start working on that. As
exactly.
important.
Yeah. I regret that I started a little late.
Mm,
However, if, as I said, this position, and people want to hear your story. Just why not tell it right from the start? I
yes,
mean,
true.
in the end as well, even in the interviews, you'll be telling your story. That, hey, this happened, that happened, I learned this, yada, yada. So why not just, right from the starting, just tell people that, hey, I did this, I failed at this, I succeed at this, I read this. Just connect with people on that level. And we being as social beings, we love talking, we love connecting, we love hearing stories. That's how we create communities, that's how we create cultures, that's how we create the world in a way.
When did you understand that personal branding really had an emphasis, or that you really had to work towards that? And when did you realize
Um, well, I think in two stages. One, when I was applying for universities outside, abroad, that's when I sort of started being more active, trying to summarize my thoughts, in three lines and connect with people. After going to Berlin, as I said, when I met this coach and she introduced me to this, that's when I started taking it very seriously and started really seeing the benefits of it. I think the other point I would also mention, quick one, is people have very less attention span. According to a study, Microsoft study in 2022, the attention span has decreased from 8 seconds to 3 seconds. So I think that um, so you need to capture attention really quick. So what people do is they write super long blogs, or super long stories, and that's another skill to really keep it concise and really finish your sentences to really convey what you want to convey in a very captivating way.
Aditya, can you also tell me some of the most rewarding moments and how they influence your approach to your career and personal growth?
Rewarding moments. Well, I do remember moments of failure more than rewarding moments. Um, I would say the first rewarding moment for me was um, deciding to come and study at SRM AP.
Mm.
I would be honest. Uh, it was a new university, and it was a new place. There was nothing. That's still not. I mean, there was nothing literally outside. Kilometers apart. So, and when you ask people that where you're going to study, and when you tell them the name of a new university, they're mostly like, "Are you sure about this? You do not know how it's going to work in the future." And I think that initial leap of faith, that and I must say SRM did paint a very good picture when we were in the admissions counseling. And I think that was one of the most rewarding moment to really take that leap of faith and take that risk and just come here, to really believe what people are saying. I think that's where I also learned to sort of figure out who is being truthful and who's just selling you something. So so SRM was one. Number two was going to Greece. That was my most rewarding moment. Um, you know, at 18, going outside, experiencing life at a very young age. Number three was, I would say, I tried to start a company here, didn't work out. So that failure was another rewarding moment for me. Sort of learned a lot from that way. Um, then going to Berlin was another rewarding moment. In a place where you don't know the language, and you sort of start getting serious about your career after your bachelor's, um, and there's a lot of money involved, but yet you want to make the best out of the limited resources. So I think that another rewarding moment for me. Um, then I've always wanted to be a speaker, and that's when I got my first speaking gig at a conference, and then I started getting it. So that felt very satisfying. Hosting TEDx felt very satisfying again. Um, Breaking into, I think very fascinatingly, we had a couple of people here in SRM who used to tell me that, hey, I don't think you're made for computer science. You won't be able to work in tech. You're more towards the manager side. You're not good. So you sort of have that criticism, not constructive, but the other criticism, destructive criticism of people. I think that was very satisfying when I finally started working with this big e-commerce company, which again, e-commerce is about tech. So I started working with the big e-commerce company, and I really started understanding tech properly. So that was a very rewarding moment. Um, and the most rewarding moments I would say are where I meet like amazing people. I think that is I met amazing people in SRM. I've met amazing people outside in my home country wherever I go. So I think that really, all in all, really knowing that I'm impacting myself, I'm growing, and I'm helping others grow. Those moments I would say they have turned out to be very rewarding.
Mm. There's so much to learn from any experience that you go through. No matter if you succeed, no matter if you failed in something. If you succeed, you just know that there's something more you can do to succeed even better. And if it's failure, you always know that there's another path to take, or even just learn from your past mistakes.
Exactly, and this is something which I've learned from one of my very good faculty in SRM, and she says that we don't fail our strategies too. And I think from coming from that mindset, what I've seen with people is that they get upset very quickly. They get rejected. They feel that they're not worth it. Also, let's say a very small example: you have a flight to catch, you go there. If something or the flight gets cancelled, you'll be like, oh, what happened, yada yada yada. It's all right, you know. Unless it's a medical emergency, it's okay. You can still take it slow. You can, you need to find other options rather than sitting and just As so yeah, take each experience as it comes. There's no good or bad, it's just an experience. And that's what that has also been very good for me to just take it on face value.
That's inspiring to hear about your journey, sir. As someone who has successfully navigated both technical and managerial roles, what are your thoughts on the importance of versatility and adaptability in today's job market?
Uh, well, they are the most important skills to have. I'll tell you why very quickly, because it's an uncertain economy, it's an uncertain world. We've got a lot happening around the world, and at one point, and we've got a lot of talent outside as well. So I've seen people thinking that they cannot be replaced, or they just want to stay in a certain field or whatever. And I've also seen people doing mistakes that if they know one technology, that means that they would always be able to work with it. And I think that has been a biggest mistake, because I've seen how businesses run. I've seen what happens, when people at the top take business decisions. And I've sort of experienced the tech world as well. Um, you need to be ready to unlearn and relearn anytime. If I tell you today that, hey, are you ready to just leave everything and learn this new technology? Your answer should be yes. That is one. Number two is, um, with so many layoffs happening in today's market, you just need to be ready. It's There's nothing bad. Of course, it might impact you financially in a way, but being adaptable gives you that cushion to to really explore other areas, to really figure out that, hey, I still have a choice. If not this, then not. And I think this happened with my company as well. When I was working in 2 years, we had more than three layoffs, large scale layoffs. My whole teams, they were laid off. It was, and in the first layoff, I was like, what? I was very scared. What if it happens to me? It just kept getting easier. Second layoff, I was like, it's okay even if it happens to me. Third layoff, I was ready the night before. I took all my data. I was like, it'll happen to me. So that level of adaptability, it helps you to start from zero. And I think if and I think overall adaptability and versatility, it always helps you to it gives you that courage to start your life from zero when you just lose everything. And that happens. I think that happens with everyone.
Hmm. Failures is almost a thing that everybody has in their life. So that's more of a reason for everybody to understand that adaptability is crucial
Hmm.
and something that they have to always keep learning from it. Uh,
Yeah.
what key lessons or strategies have you learned that could help students interested in entrepreneurship?
um Build your brand early on. Build your brand. For entrepreneurship, you need people, right? I mean, business is about people. So let's say this: you're building a tech product or tech company. You need the right talent. You need the right coders. You need the right people. You need the right investors, right? And you need the right clients. Now, either you can just spend a lot of money to trial and error, keep sending emails or keep cold calling them, or you can just build your personal brand early on. So you attract the right kind of people. So that's number one. Number two, do not live in a bubble of. I've seen that of achieving, let's say, achieving um, a small thing and thinking that you're someone big. I've seen that happening with a lot of people in different universities. They want to be entrepreneurs. They go to these e-cells and everywhere, and as soon as they come with an idea, with a business plan, and as soon as they get their first, even if they get their first investment, they think like they're on the top of the world. That's not how it works. When you go, it's easier to do things in a university. When you go outside and you really start pitching to people without any support, you get to know the reality. So that is my second advice. Take it slow, understand your business, get clarity on your business, use an agile approach, a feedback first approach, take feedback on your idea from different people, take as much criticism as you want about your product, and then finally launch it.
Hmm.
That's
Being
number two.
being part of an entrepreneurship committee also helps, where you find people or
Oh,
partners to
definitely.
collaborate with, who are
Communities, yeah.
actually.
Communities, conferences. Um, so find like-minded people and find different-minded people so they can sort of complement what you're missing. And
Mm.
where do you find people? You find people in communities.
Mm, yes, yes. It's also important to understand that the people that you select or wish to be part of your company, it's also crucial to understand if they can actually play that role for you,
Exactly.
or are you just doing it just for the sake of having people in the community.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
All of these details, they do go pretty deep, but that should not be uh, pushing anybody down in their ideologies, or going towards any of their goals.
I mean, and I know this. What they say is everything's tough. You want to go to industry, it's tough. You want to start your own business, it's tough. You know, um, let's say this. Working is tough and not working is tough. You need to figure out what's tough for you.
That's a fantastic insight. So as you're back to India now, what is currently going on, and what's your future plan?
Um, I do not know, honestly. As I said, took a leap of faith again, came back here, found a good industry to work with, scaling my own brand consultancy. That's the plan for now. In the future, I do not know. But all I know is that I'll be prepared, and it does not matter what happens in the future. Yes, I do have a plan. However, I'm just focused on really scaling my um, business up, and I think I've missed out on a lot of family time due to being here and then in Germany. So I just want to make up for that lost time early on,
Mm.
because I think the farther you go, the more you realize that how important family and friends are, and I think I just want to give it some time to be with them and then figure out what happens next.
Mm. Aditya, it's been fantastic learning about your journey from Greece to Berlin and beyond. Your story is truly inspiring and full of great insights. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us.
Perfect. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you to all our listeners for tuning in to Say What with SRMAP. Keep pushing boundaries. And thank you to all our listeners for tuning in to Say What with SRMAP. Keep pushing boundaries, exploring new opportunities, and remember the power of personal branding. Join us next time for more insightful conversations. Until then, this is Ramya signing off.